Hello everyone, it's Plastique, and let's get in drag. Today, I'm very inspired by Painted by Esther, a makeup artist that is making waves on social media right now. This is her work. I don't know, something about this today got me very, very excited, especially this look. This is Naomi to me. Yeah, it's a very natural, but yet lashy, yet drag, super blushy. I'm going into the George's level type of blush. Less like white and more like just blush all over. The lip is always super bright. The eyes are super neutral. I love when makeup artists have their own style and when they put the girls in drag. Today we're gonna be trying some new products and some old faithful. Let's just get into it. I'm gonna cover my brows. I'll be right back. I low-key was struggling on what to call this video today, but I think I'm going to title it like Get Ready With Me, Tips on How to Be a Successful Drag Queen or something. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of motivational podcasts. This is the one size powder that I put over my brows. What am I doing? Going in with a Huda Beauty faux filter color corrector in peach on my mustache area. Every time I get in drag, I really have to hype myself up. I forget how lucky I am doing drag. Bro, I could be outside doing hair or I could be working a 9 to 5, but I'm here making content and doing what I love with my time, which I think is the most valuable thing you can do. I love that Painted by Esther works on mostly dark-skinned girlies, and that's why the blush really shines. I just love that look so much. So today we're going to not highlight as much, rather just be a tan diva. I'm using NB1 and going over everything. My highlighty area, 7W around the hairline at the darker area of my face. You've seen me do this before. I just run this foundation stick over. I'm gonna go with the white, but just underneath my eyes. Going in with the Kosas concealer. It's a pink tone concealer right under here. Going all the way like this across the nose. You want this whole area to really be seamless and blushy. Going in with my House Lab foundation in shade 300, and I'm just gonna blend it all out. If y'all watched Drag Race season 11, y'all might know a little bit about me, but I think YouTube land, if the kids are young, everyone out there who's watching who doesn't know, I was born in Vietnam and I moved to the United States when I was 10 years old. I used to live in Vietnam with my grandparents. I moved over here. That's when I really started getting accustomed to American culture. I really didn't know anything beforehand. Back then, I think I always known that I was different or gay or whatever you want to call it, a fag. But I think in my culture at the time, it was not as accepting as it is now. I, always really kept to myself, and I was extremely introverted as a child. Like my grandma used to say that I looked like I was mute because I wouldn't talk to anyone. While I'm at school, I would just rather like walk the other way rather than make a conversation with someone. I think that was very scary to me. When I moved to the United States, like I was getting bullied a lot because one, I can't speak the language. Two, if I say something, I would say the wrong thing. And of course, you can tell that I was gay. When you start to find your tribe and everything, that's when things start to get better. It wasn't until I was in high school that I really found my people and the people who would accept me for who I am. Now I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. We're gonna use all 3 colors. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the pinkiest shade and put it right here. The second darkest shade, put it right here. We're gonna go to the deeper nudie shade down here, put it at the corner. We kind of want to make it like a graduation of blush. With whatever is left on my sponge, I'm gonna blend it out from the inner corner to the outer, and that should give us like a natural flush under the eyes. Very pretty. I love this so much. It's so easy to blend out and it doesn't mix weird with your concealer, Anastasia just has like staple makeup products that will always work. So that's why I love, love, love Anastasia. Okay, that's that. Now going in with my Kosas Cloud Set Translucent Candy Rose Ultra Transparent Powder. We're gonna use that to set all under the eyes. I'm gonna set the rest of my face using the One Size translucent powder. So I guess my first experience or knowledge of drag was through Drag Race. I was scrolling through the channel and I saw Jujubee on there, and that was really special because that was kind of like my first like, whoa, these people are on TV and they're men and they're doing drag and they're getting like praise for it. At the time, it was not something that was seen as great in Vietnam, even though there was comedians who did it and who perform in drag for comedy shows and sketches and stuff like that, but that was for comedy. I never like got to see them being so glamorous and getting praised. And so freshly when I was 18 years old from high school, I started sneaking out into the clubs, entering drag competitions on Thursday night in Dallas, Texas. And that's when Plastique was born with a $20 Amazon wig and a dream. So I think my first advice for queens who want to start in drag was you have to really love the art form of drag. I love the art form of drag because I liked expressing myself in drag more than I did out of drag, because as Duke at the time, I was very not confident in myself. I think being raised in Vietnam, coming to America, you kind of just have this idea of wanting to assimilate and wanting to be a part of the crowd. And at the time, I was obviously not a part of the crowd. I couldn't really express myself fully. Although I was flamboyant, I was getting bullied for it. So they say that gay people growing up, you have to pick and choose what you show to the outside world, because not all of you is going to get accepted. That's why I gravitated toward drag, because drag kind of let me become this person who didn't have a gender, who didn't have a race, who didn't have something that society deemed at the time was bad. I was in this world of fantasy, and with my friends who also love doing drag and all of us were free, it let me be who I always wanted to be almost. For eyeshadows today, I got the Makeup by Mario, the new cream eyeshadows, my new fantasy. So I'm gonna go over the lid first using Sandstone. Oh, it's like super, super matte. I really like the texture of these. I feel like this will be really good for if you do drag or if you have like sweaty eyelids, because it's like a matte formula and it blends out really, really nicely. And if you have like texture on your lids, this will be really nice for it as well. Then I'm gonna use the shade Espresso. We're gonna do a little outer corner action with it, like so. Let's see how that blends out. Okay. I think I'm gonna go into this middle shade called Sienna. Should I do Sienna or should I do... You know what? I can do all of them. Why not? Use that as my like mid-toning shade. I love this. It's like not picking up anything underneath, and it's really, really matte, and it laying over my covered brows so nicely. And that's really impressive. And that is the blend. So as I was saying, as I was doing these little drag shows, competition, I was also going to beauty school because I wanted to go to art school because I was always interested in photography and videography and beauty content creating, but at the time I didn't know what that meant. So I wanted to go to art school, but my family was not the wealthiest people, so I couldn't really do that to them, and I just didn't want to be the broke art student after I graduated college. So instead, I decided to go to beauty school. I was doing drag as I was doing beauty school. It was wild. I remember like having enough money to buy a human hair wig. I would take the human hair wig and go to my salon to dye it upstairs, and like, cause I couldn't afford hair dye. So stuff like that I did while I was apprenticing because, you know, I didn't have any clients. So sometimes I would do that just to pass the time. Back in my day, when you were a drag queen, you would sign up for competition shows, you would work for tips. Whoever gets the loudest applause at the end of the night would win. If you win the talent show that night, then you get to come back the next week and perform 3 numbers for free. And the more you do that, then the more you get, recognized, and then the other queens will maybe book you on a weekend at the other bars, or you can enter into a pageant. And if you win the pageant, then you get to be there every Thursday doing 3 numbers. So that's how I got my start in drag. I think I'm gonna go in with this Icy Nude palette from Huda Beauty. And I'm gonna take the shade VVS, whack it in the middle of my eye. Starter shimmer. Taking like a flat defining brush, I'm gonna take the shade Faux Fur. Just sketch out my under lash line. From the reference photo, it is pretty thin. She keeps the eye like pretty open and white. Not very smoky at all. It's just a lot of clean lines and lots of ethereal shimmers, which I love. She does kind of like nudie pencil in the waterline, and that's just gonna give you that really doe eye effect. Ooh, and there's like a liner that happens, but it is super small and pretty compact, and the wing is created by just her lashes. Okay, let's get into it. Y'all know I love using a brown liner first to map out my shape. I'll go in with a black liner, really carve it out, because girl, you don't want to mess up. Mess up is no fun. Yeah, so when I first started doing drag, it was more of like an escape for me to express my gender expression and kind of just learn who I was and what I wanted to be. And I really loved drag because it gave me the feeling of freedom that I always craved. Growing up in my household, it was really interesting. Growing up, I was very sheltered and obedient. So of course, when I was finally had the chance to be on my own, I was just lusting for that feeling of freedom, because I've been just pretending my whole life to be straight or people pleasing so then I could be accepted in school and stuff like that. So when I discovered this world where I can just be myself, girl, it was over. So yeah, that's my first tip to everyone who wants to do drag, is you really have to love drag because you like being able to express yourself. Just don't do drag because you want to get on Drag Race or anything like that, because that's just, you're in for a world of trouble if you are, because drag is tough. But if you love it, then it's very rewarding, even when there's no pay. Oh, my second tip is always try to be on time. Girl, just try your best to be on time. I know there's this thing called drag queen time, but it only exists once you can demand that time. If you're starting out in drag, please just be on time and respect other people's time as well. Okay, now going in with the black liner. In this reference photo, she leaves the inner corner pretty blank, just doing the black starting like from here out. And I really like that because it leaves the front of the eye like doughy. Try to find something that you're really good at and that makes you happy when you're in drag, and kind of just make that your thing. You kind of have to copy other people first in order to find who you are. I think once you find your style and what that is, I think that's when you find yourself. When I was starting, I had the Miss Fame face all day, and she basically taught a generation of drag queen, my generation of drag queen, how to do drag basically. And I'm gonna do something that I usually never do. Ooh, I don't know, I'm scared. I'm gonna connect this part and then draw like a faux crease. I don't know if y'all can even see it, but it's there. Now onto the brows. Yeah, all the brows on these looks are pretty natural and full. So I'm just gonna do my regular brow routine using my Natasha Denona palette and just mapping out the shape first using the middle shade, carve it out after. Not long after I did drag, I think that's when I met Alyssa Edwards, which I'm still a fan of to this day, but back then I was obviously a huge fan. We met each other at a benefit event in Dallas where me and her were booked together. 19-year-old something drag queen who was like, oh, I love you so much. She bought this wig off of my head. It was a little rhinestone finger wave. Not long after, she asked me to be a part of the House of Edwards. And that's when I realized that, oh, maybe this could go somewhere. Before I went on Drag Race, y'all remember that pageant I talked to y'all about? The Rising Star pageant. I was lucky enough to win at 19. And from then on, I had to wait, I think, until I was 21 to audition for Drag Race. But I remember that day, it was like I was turning 21 in April, but the application was, you have to be 21 to apply. So I just lied and I was like, oh yeah, I'm 21, but it was in March. By the time they were gonna cast me, I would be 21 anyways. So yeah, back to being successful in drag. I think you kind of just have to figure out like what works for you, and in the art of drag, what do you want out of it? Some people are comedy queens, some people are funny, some people are really good at commentary, some people are really good at makeup. As for me, I was always interested in video and content and production, and I really didn't know what that meant until TikTok and social media started booming, because I used to like record like videos of myself, post it on Instagram, but there was no reels at the time and I didn't know like what my job would be called, I guess. The term social media queen was a almost derogatory back in the day, because everyone was like, oh, then you really don't know how to perform. COVID hit and look what happened. And after I carved, I'm gonna go back to this light blendy shade and kind of just fade that into my brow. Actually, I'm gonna go back to this. This actually works so much better. The Mario, wow. That actually works so much better, you guys. The sandstone that I used at the beginning. Yeah, it almost reminds me of the texture of a MAC paint pot, but in a liquid form. Love that. And I'm putting this eyeshadow all the way here in my inner corner, which I never do. That is so draggy. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe I need to lessen that up a little bit. That scares me. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, it's back to women. Yeah, and who would have known that now your Instagram is basically your portfolio and you don't need an application anymore. You just look at Instagram and then that's it. So yeah, my advice would be just find out what makes you happy, find out what makes you stand out, just push it to the max, the highest degree. Now I'm gonna go in with highlighter, just highlight the fuck out of my eye. Right here on the eyelid, in the inner corner, right in the middle of the eye, right under the brow. So when you turn, it kind of looks like that. I'm gonna do a little bit of Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay, right in the middle of my eye. This has the craziest sparkles ever, and it will really give you that wet look to the eyes. You see how that's like just instantly make the eye so gorge because of the chunky glitter in there. Makes everything look so much more ethereal. And I love this as a topper for any look because it just has that perfect size of glitter where it's not like crafty looking, but it's also, it just shines so nice in the light. And this will save any look, in my opinion. And that just marries it together so well. Beautiful. Okay, I feel alive again. Okay, now let's go into the iconic blush routine. I am sweeping all the under eye powder away. And you see how blushed the eye looks already. So first, I'm gonna go in with this NARS blush. I know the name of it now. It's called Sex Fantasy. Y'all remember how I told y'all NARS is like wild for their names? Yeah, this is one of it. So taking that on a taper brush, and I'm just gonna go right at the inner corner like that. And that just smooths everything out so well. Then I'm actually going to go in with House Lab Pomelo Peach. And as you can see, this is a peachier blush. And I'm just gonna fade that from pink to peach because I love how in her looks, she marries the two together and the peach will kind of fade into the skin tone much better. Kind of like that. Then I'm actually gonna go in with the Stage White Turn Up the Base powder. And this, I'm just gonna go right at the hollow of my eye right here. And this will kind of bring my cheek up a little bit and make everything look alive again. You see how that looks just so much more lifted than this? But the thing is, we don't want that white cast there. So after I lift this cheek, I'm going to go back in with the NARS, go over it again, just so then that looks more blended in with the blush. You want this whole thing to be pink and peach, kind of like that. Mama, you see that? That's what we're going for. I think I'm gonna go a little crazy. You ready for me to go a little crazy? I bought these little pigments today from Krylon. One is pink, one is orange. I think I wanna mix it, just like try it on my cheek. Do y'all think that's a little crazy? Let's try it, huh? Oh, bitch. The UV? Oh my God. Y'all just see what that does? That makes it so pretty. And I'm just dipping it to the pink. Just the pink, y'all. That is doing exactly what I need to do. I'm a genius. I'm a freaking genius. And I know y'all hoes about to go buy this out too, so. Yeah. Wow. I'm the best makeup artist ever. Now we're gonna bronze the face, and she really goes in with a bronzer. So we're gonna use Bronze Umber. And I love this shade because it is not too little, not too much. And I go on my nose, contour my nose. Actually, I'm just gonna go over my nose. I'm gonna highlight later. And I like that this has like a sheen to it, so you can't really mess it up or overdo it. And it's just still gonna look beautiful even if you put it on a lot. So go underneath the cheeks right there, right underneath the chin, like so. On the forehead, I'm going extra tan today. Going back to the Natasha Denona palette, I'm gonna use this shade to highlight my nose, just there, a little bit on the bridge. So I don't want anything too crazy. Afterwards, I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty once again and highlight the tip of my nose, something like that. This Kat Von D, the Fetish Blush Palette and Highlighter Duo. I just have to do it, y'all. That is delicious. I just cannot with this UV powder. I can't believe it worked. I truly am the best makeup artist on earth. I know the girls are about to buy UV powders now and put it on their cheeks because that is gorgeous. The Makeup Forever Starlit Powder in 01, going in at the inner corner right there. I can like not do this with any makeup look I do. I just have to do it because it just makes everything look so much better. I'm excited. Okay, for the lips, I think I'm going to go, obviously, something like Zish. You see how that just, we're like twins almost. Oh. Yeah, I know the perfect combo. Pink Remix from One Size, and I'm gonna sketch out my lip. And then we're gonna contour it around the lip kind of like that and leave the middle kind of blank. Clean up the edges using your concealer brush. I'm gonna go in with this REM Beauty. They just sent me this gloss called 7 Rings and I think it's gonna work perfectly. Bitch. Ariana. That is gorgeous. Oh my God, that is so delicious. Let me just apply the lashes and show y'all what is about to happen. You guys, I don't know if I've felt this gorge in a little bit, but look at it. Look at the muggy. Oh, I used the Raquel Beauty Aurora Lights as like the add-ons. I actually put the longest piece like in the middle, the shorter piece on the outside, instead of like the longest piece on the outside, because I didn't want it to look like too like, I want it to be like still like fluttery. For the bottom lashes, I actually picked these up while I was in Tokyo, and they are the Philly Millie 11mm lashes. They're so tiny, cute, and beautiful, and it just worked so perfectly with this look, and I'm just I mean, talk about muggy. I don't know if I felt this beautiful in like non-like woman makeup in a while. I guess this is still woman makeup, but it's like draggy. But oh my God, so gorgeous. Let me go put on my wig and maybe some contacts and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, this is the finished look. Y'all, I feel so puss. I never thought I would feel so puss with 11mm lashes on my lower lash line, but I guess we're here. My contacts are from Dimple Color. They're this amazing brand of contacts that they're the only one-day contacts that doesn't dry out my eyes. I'm wearing the color Eden Green today. It's that perfect in-between color, but it doesn't look like weird. Still look pretty natch. I had so much fun recreating this makeup look for you today. Makeup by Esther. And that UV blush, did we just start a new trend? If y'all sell out that UV blush, I swear. I had so much fun doing this makeup here and get ready with y'all and talk to y'all. I cannot wait to see you next time. And let me know what you'd like to see next. Subscribe, push the notification button, and I'll see you soon.